Emergency in Los Angeles. Jin BTS collapses suddenly. Jungkook becomes his unwavering guardian. Los Angeles was thrown into an unexpected state of tension yesterday when Kim Seokjin, known worldwide simply as Jin of BTS, experienced a sudden and alarming health decline that left onlookers stunned and his fellow members visibly shaken. Witnesses at the scene described the moment as frightening and unlike anything we've seen from him before. But the most striking image to emerge from this incident was not just Jin's condition. It was Jungkook's immediate, unwavering reaction, standing firmly at his side, seemingly ready to shield him from the chaos erupting around them. The question now gripping millions: what exactly happened to BTS's eldest member in one of the busiest cities in America, and why was Jungkook's response so intense? The incident reportedly unfolded in a private section of a high-profile location in Los Angeles, where BTS members were believed to be taking part in a confidential engagement. Initial accounts suggest Jin, who appeared in stable condition earlier that day, suddenly became pale and unsteady before lowering himself into a seat and clutching his side. Within seconds, Jungkook was seen moving in, physically blocking the space around him as staff scrambled for assistance. Multiple eyewitnesses confirmed that the youngest member of BTS appeared to take control, directing those nearby while refusing to leave Jin's side, even as security attempted to create a perimeter. Details remain scarce on the underlying cause of Jin's sudden drop in condition, but what stands out is the urgency in Jungkook's demeanor. Those present noted that his expression shifted from casual to sharply focused in an instant. According to one account, Jungkook's hand remained firmly on Jin's shoulder for several minutes, his posture tense and protective. Even when medics arrived, he maintained his position close enough to monitor every movement, every instruction given to Jin. This kind of instinctive guardianship is rare to witness in public, and it has intensified speculation about the gravity of the situation. Adding to the growing unease is the fact that Jin has been largely private about his health in recent months, fueling questions about whether this was an isolated episode or part of a deeper, ongoing concern. Observers have noted subtle changes in his appearance during recent public outings, slight weight fluctuations, a quieter demeanor, and a tendency to step back from more physically demanding activities. None of these observations were alarming on their own, but when viewed through the lens of this sudden event, they raise uncomfortable possibilities. The environment in Los Angeles only heightened the drama. The city, already saturated with paparazzi and eager fans, became a pressure chamber once whispers of the incident began to spread. Within minutes, phones were raised, lenses trained on the unfolding scene, and snippets of rushed footage began to surface online. One particularly jarring clip appears to show Jungkook glancing sharply toward a cluster of cameras, his jaw set as if silently warning them to keep their distance. In that same moment, Jin appears to close his eyes briefly, his breathing visibly shallow, prompting immediate repositioning from both security and medical personnel. The scene left fans across the globe in a state of emotional turmoil. Social media erupted within the hour, flooded with messages of concern, shock, and speculation. Trending tags related to both Jin and Jungkook overtook multiple platforms, but the content was not the typical celebratory chatter. This was urgent, almost frantic communication, as armies around the world tried to piece together what had happened. It is important to note that the nature of the event was not tied to any public performance or scheduled fan interaction. This was behind closed doors, which makes the leak of real-time updates even more remarkable. The few individuals who have spoken about it publicly describe a scene that was both chaotic and strangely intimate. Chaotic because of the rush to respond to Jin's condition, intimate because Jungkook's focus on him was absolute, to the point of ignoring all other distractions. The symbolism of that moment is not lost on longtime followers of the group. Jin, the eldest, and Jungkook, the youngest, have always shared a playful dynamic in the public eye. Yet here, the dynamic shifted entirely. This was not playful banter. This was a moment of life and health, a moment where the youngest member became the unspoken leader in crisis. That image, Jungkook's frame shielding Jin from the crowd, has already become one of the most talked about visuals in recent BTS history. What remains unanswered are the critical medical questions. What caused Jin's sudden drop in condition? Was this related to exhaustion, an undisclosed illness, or an external factor in the environment? And perhaps most troubling for fans, could this affect his ability to participate in upcoming BTS commitments, many of which are rumored to be tied to highly anticipated projects in the coming months? The timing of the incident is particularly sensitive. BTS's presence in Los Angeles had already been surrounded by heightened attention, as industry insiders hinted at possible recording sessions, private meetings, and strategic appearances designed to set the stage for their next phase as a group. Any disruption to those plans, especially one involving a key member's health, could have significant ripple effects, not just within the fandom, but across the music industry at large. For now, the image that lingers is not of an award stage or a music video. It is of a dimly lit private space in Los Angeles. Jin seated with his head slightly bowed and Jungkook standing guard beside him, scanning the room with the sharpness of someone who refuses to let anything else happen on his watch. That single frame tells a story more powerful than any official statement could. A story of urgency, loyalty, and the unspoken bond between two members of the world's biggest band. Until more is known, the questions will continue to mount. Was this merely a fleeting moment of weakness, or the public glimpse of something much larger? What did Jungkook see in those first seconds that made him react with such decisive force? And perhaps most pressing of all, how will BTS move forward in the wake of this unexpected and unsettling turn of events in Los Angeles? Under the fluorescent glare of Los Angeles' late-night city lights, the aftermath of Jin's sudden health collapse continued to grip those who witnessed it. The air outside the venue was thick with unanswered questions, the tension amplified by the deliberate silence of those who might know more. Security staff moved with calculated precision, guiding both members and essential personnel into waiting vehicles, but one figure refused to follow the pace: Jungkook, who lingered at Jin's side until the very last moment before stepping into the same car, his eyes locked on the elder's every movement as if afraid to miss even the slightest change. Eyewitnesses recount that Jungkook's composure was unwavering despite the chaos. Even when approached by handlers attempting to usher him away for his own security, he reportedly shook his head and stayed planted next to Jin, his body angled toward him in a protective stance. Observers could see his lips move, speaking in low tones, words they couldn't make out, but the urgency in his delivery was unmistakable. Several described the youngest member's gaze as laser-focused and ready to react if anyone came too close. The vehicles left in a staggered formation, an apparent measure to deter pursuit, yet the convoy did not escape the lenses of determined paparazzi. From a distance, grainy photographs captured the shadowy outline of Jungkook leaning forward in his seat, his attention fixed entirely on Jin, who appeared reclined with his head turned slightly toward the window. In those dimly lit frames, there was no performance, no stage presence, only raw, unguarded concern etched into Jungkook's posture. Medical specialists consulted off the record have speculated on possible causes for the incident, though none could confirm without direct examination. Sudden fatigue, dehydration, or stress-related conditions remain among the potential triggers. But given Jin's limited public appearances in recent weeks, the possibility of an underlying issue is difficult to ignore. Industry veterans note that high-profile artists often push themselves beyond sustainable limits during overseas engagements, especially when operating under intense time constraints and confidentiality clauses that limit public awareness of their movements. The emotional resonance of this moment within the BTS community cannot be overstated. For ARMYs worldwide, Jin's sudden vulnerability served as a stark reminder that even global icons are not immune to human fragility. Jungkook's protective role in those critical moments only deepened the emotional impact, sparking waves of messages that mixed deep worry with heartfelt admiration. Phrases like "Jungkook the Protector" and "Jin Stay Strong" dominated online conversations, while fan edits and tributes began circulating within hours, immortalizing the tense yet tender exchange between the two members. What sets this incident apart from previous public health scares involving celebrities is the unprecedented visibility of the protective dynamic. Fans are accustomed to seeing BTS support each other on stage and in controlled interviews, but the raw, unfiltered glimpse into their relationship during a genuine emergency left a lasting impression. It was not scripted. It was not rehearsed. It was the instinctive reaction of a younger brother who refused to let go. Behind the scenes, speculation continues about how the rest of the group responded. Some reports suggest other members were present, but kept at a greater distance to avoid crowding the immediate area. Others hint that their absence from the public view may have been a strategic decision to minimize attention while focusing resources on Jin. The exact configuration of events remains unclear, and the tight circle of individuals who know the full truth has remained resolutely silent. As the hours passed, the frenzy outside shifted from urgent to anxious, with fans and media alike staking out known locations in hopes of catching a glimpse of reassurance. But Los Angeles is a city that knows how to conceal its stories when it wants to. The movements of BTS remained hidden, and no credible insider has come forward to shed light on Jin's condition. This calculated absence of information has only fueled the speculation, giving rise to countless theories, each more elaborate than the last, about what truly unfolded in that private space and what it might mean for the group's immediate future. For now, the incident hangs over the fandom like a heavy cloud, its weight magnified by the complete lack of official narrative. The only indisputable fact is the visual memory etched into everyone's minds. Jin, weakened and visibly struggling, and Jungkook, standing as an unmovable barrier between him and the world. That scene alone has already entered BTS lore as one of the most emotionally charged moments in the group's history. And until the silence breaks, it will remain a source of both deep concern and unwavering admiration among millions who continue to watch, wait, and hope from afar.